Hey everybody, how are you? It is Saturday, July 30th, um, 2022. This is episode 6 of The Disorderly Stitcher. I'm Nancy, and I just want to thank all of you that continue to watch. Um, that blows my mind. I read each and every one of your comments. Your comments have been so kind, and I appreciate each and every one of them. Um, yeah. I was in quite a creative funk a couple years ago, and I think, honestly, through Flosstube and watching Flosstube and other creative videos, it's really gotten my mojoing. Does that make sense? So anyway, yeah. So I thought I'd take the time um, to give you another video. Um, so here we go. I have a little bit of haul, cross stitch haul, a little bit of quilting haul, some works in progress, and yeah, so here we go. All right. I hope everybody's doing really, really well. All right, so where should we start? All right, let's talk about some haul, cross stitch haul. So I can't not wait till school starts because I have a feeling after school starts, I won't be buying as much. Maybe. Or will I be buying about the same so I don't miss out? I don't know. All right, so if you know anything about Priscilla and Chelsea, the mother-daughter team of Stitching with the Housewives, you know they've come out with a new series called Month to Month. The first one I have started, and again, I apologize, it's still in the frame, but it's happy in there, you know? And so last week, I think I showed you the sunflower. And so I've got the B done. I thought he was cute. And I started the A in August. There's a lot of this, it's called black coffee. And it's going to be the entire word August. Now, I know some people will stitch the outline and then fill it in. And that's cool. I've never done that. And I guess one of these days I'll try it. But so far I'm just going row by row. And I am not using the loop method because I am using Classic Colorworks and I'd like to see some of the variegation. So yeah, but so far so good. This is on 28 count Monaco. As I said last week, it's a very stiff fabric, but hopefully it will soften up as time goes on. These little doodads are magnetic. Okay, in fact, looks like one of them fell off, so I'll have to fix that. And they're great because you can roll up everything and keep it out of your way. So that's the August month to month. Okay. So I got in the mail September. I am part of the automatic mailing from the Fat Quarter Shop for this one. And September has apples on it, so I got that one in the mail. And each one has a barn in it, different barn. So, yeah, so we have apples. And in the club, you get the Classic Colorworks flosses. I have a habit of saving these little bags. I don't know why. I'll find some use for them. I don't want to really put them in the landfill. That's about a mile or so from my house. But yeah, so they're very fall colors. They're all Classic Colorworks. So we have black coffee, a lot of black coffee, licorice red. Oh, I don't have that one. Can't wait. pea pod and wagon wheel. So I'm pumped to do that one. And I picked up the Monaco at Michael's. It was in one of those long plastic tubes, rectangular prism tube things. Pretty reasonably priced. So, yeah. But you can stitch on whatever you want to stitch on. So, if you're interested, Stitching with the Housewives, month to month. I am sure they are available other places, in other shops, possibly even in their Etsy shop. I'm not sure yet, but yeah. But if you want I don't want to call it a club, but you get it every month. Okay, so there you go. All right, another thing I got in the mail was Sewing Club by Blackbird Designs. Now, these are all like reprinted, reprints of previous patterns, and I've been purchasing them for my someday list, but I just thought they were pretty. So there's a drum. It's called Rose Hips. I like that. And of course, it's a red bird, and red's my favorite color. It's a lot of little box decorations. I love the blue house. But anyway, there's a bunch of different books that they have taken some of their designs and put in. I thought this one was pretty. I think that's going to be the first one I make out of the book. This one's called Tiny Treetops, Rose or Time. So that will be there on my list of things to do. So yeah, I'm pumped. I like this one too. It's another house. I'm really like getting the house vibe. I think I got that from a couple other Flosstubers. And as Laura and Brenda of Brenda and the Serial Starter say, you know, get all the blackbirds. Stitch all the blackbirds. Buy all the blackbirds. All right. So slowly but surely. Another piece of haul I got. If you are not on the mailing list, the newsletter list, whatever you want to call it, for the Kitten Stitcher. Okay, Teresa at the Kitten Stitcher. You ought to. Okay. So, I got an email with information, yada, yada, yada. And lo and behold, one piece of information was a sampler that was being released. And you could get the sampler and the fabric. And it's Mary Ann Minjay. I'm not sure if it's a soft or a hard G. And 1796 by Shakespeare's Peddler. And I do apologize, it's still in the plastic, but I hope you can see it. But I just thought it was pretty. So that one's on my list. And the fabric, called for fabric, is Light Hazelnut, 40 count by XJU Designs. And it's beautiful. It's brown. I mean, it looks lighter on camera. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's like a golden brown, but it's really pretty. Really pretty. So that's on my list of things to do. Things to do and things to do. Doing all the things. Where'd that come from? I have no idea. I think that's from something. I'll throw that over there. And a couple others that I had gotten about a week or so ago that I forgot to pull out are 2 Hands Across the Sea designs, and a lot of people are stitching these, but they are sisters. Okay, Isabella Uffendell, 1829, and her sister Anne Tong Uffendell. Can you see them? 1835. So both of the models, let me see. The model was stitched on 40 count Lakeside linen pecan butter on both of them. And I'm really hoping to find a piece of, not necessarily the pecan butter, but something light enough that I can do both of them on, because after all, they're sisters, Okay, so how many of you have the song from White Christmas in your head right now? Sisters, sisters, they were never such devoted sisters. Okay, we're done. All right. So yeah, those are all my someday plans. I've also been working on, and I should have popped this out, but I didn't. Christmas List by Silver Creek Sampler, and I really like stitching this one. Number one, stitching on Ada is fast because all of the weave is uniform and all the holes, you don't have to. In linen, you've got some really thin threads and some thicker threads, so you have to make sure if you're going over 2 that you have truly gone over 2 and not over 1 or not over 3 or something like that. Ada, being so uniform, is very quick to stitch. And using DMC is a quick stitch because you don't have to worry about variegation. Now, you don't have to worry about variegation on Classic Colorworks or Gentle Arts or something like that if you don't want to. So you could stitch, like a whole row one way and then go back the other way. But my philosophy is if you're going to spend the money on those variegated hand-dyed threads, why wouldn't you want the variegation? Okay. But anyway, so this one's going fairly quickly. And I apologize it's not out of the frame, but yeah. So I've gotten, this is like the top right half. Yeah, when you look at the chart. So I've gotten Flying Reindeer, Christmas Blessings, and this wool sweater. And I think it's going to say wool sweaters here. But yeah, and like the letters, this is DMC, I think 930, and this is, I can't remember, but it's a brown. So it's like the words are alternating blue, brown, blue, brown. And so you just get into a rhythm. And again, I can use the loop method on this, so I don't have to worry about starting a tail. I just have to, tuck the tail under. So yeah, this one's going to be fun. And I'll get it framed. So that's that. And you can see I'm in the middle of the letters because I have about 10:30 last night, excuse me. Just thinking about it makes me yawn. All right. Another acquisition that I got was I heard about it from Steph and Pam and Just Keep Stitching. And I, why not? What the heck? I teach and this is my therapy, right? So this one's it's a limited edition Twin Peak primitive. It's called America. Hopefully you can see it. But again, geeking out, being the history teacher, that part. And it's, it's, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, America. And it has the quilts. And I absolutely love the way she charted those sheep. Those sheep look so realistic. But yeah. So it came with the chart. And it came with, they even sent me a little thing with a tea bag and 2 tiny little nail files. It came with the fabric, which is dirty brown linen by, I think that's XJU. but it's a really, really light, sort of with a little bit of pinkish in it, rose color in it. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see what it says for called for. Oh, I can't see it. It's on the back. And it came with this cute little, like, hornbook puzzle thing. You can build the puzzle. I guess you could glue it down, and then, you know, there's your threads. I might just glue it down and hang it somewhere. And all the luscious little DMCs. Yeah. So Buddhamist. They're so Buddhamist. Love it. So anyway, don't know if this one's still available. So when you find out if there's going to be an exclusive limited edition, and you know, don't waffle on it for very long, because if you do, you might end up losing it. And you don't want to lose things. Okay? Sort of like the lottery. Whoever in Illinois won the mega whatever it is, congratulations. All right. Another one I'm working on is by Lori Holt. This is going to be a stitch along, I believe, through Fat Quarter Shop. But one of Lori's, I think I showed it to you last week. You're the Boss. I can't remember if I showed it to you last week or not. But I love that. You're the boss of your own quilt. Yeah, you know what? The quilt police just, they need a life. So if I showed this to you before, I'm sorry, but there's the lusciousness. I think I did show you. And then the 25 count Cloud Lugana by Lori Holt. But she uses these colors a lot in her stitches, so yeah. So that's on the radar. So there you go. There's that one. So other things I've been, more haul. Lori has a new line of fabric out called Prairie. Yeah. And she's going to have a sew along. It's going to be a sew along on her blog, beinmybonnet.com. Her startup get ready blog post will be released on August 1st, or August 8th, excuse me, August 8th. And then I think the sew along kicks off on August 29th. Now, you know, that's like after school starts, so I'll be doing what I can when I can. But anyway, so I ordered the kit from Happy Little Stitch Shop in Wisconsin. Oh my God, these are so beautiful. I don't know if I showed you or not. But yeah, this came in the mail the other day. When my husband was on vacation, I got like 5 packages in one day. And he just brought them in here and handed them to me and smiled and walked out. I love him. So anyway, I don't know if you can see them. I don't want to open it yet, but there's teals and blues and denims and plums and pinks and reds and oranges and cheddars and yellows and greens and browns, and yes, luscious. And this sew along is going to be applique, and I'm anxious to do it because she does an interfacing method with her applique where you sew the right side of the fabric down on the sew-in interfacing, and then you cut around the shape and you snip a little opening in the interfacing, and you turn it inside out, and that way you don't have to worry about having to turn under edges and all that. So I'm anxious to give it a try. But then these are the backgrounds, and they're so beautiful. And then I'm sure that this brown and this brown are the sashing and binding. Yes, Buddhamist. I don't know what this green is. Maybe it's mine. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So yes, So that's on my list. I'm really trying to slow down the buying, but that's not going so well. So that's really the stitching that I have paid a lot of attention to. I've been doing a lot with those 2 stitches with my Christmas list, and excuse me. Month to month, August month to month. And I think it's just because it's so easy. They're so easy to stitch. Monaco is an even weave, even though it's 28 count and you go over 2, it's an even weave. It's not like linen. So an even weave simply means that all the threads are the same circumference or gauge or whatever you want to say, and it's easy to see the holes. Same thing as Jobelin or Lugana. And of course the Aida is very uniform and it's very easy to see. So at night, I can go fairly quickly on those and I feel accomplished with them. Linen's going to take me a little bit of time, but I used to stitch on linen a lot, and I love the way it looks, especially the antique look. And I think it's so cool now that we have all these hand-dyed linens. The problem with that is that the dyers are having a difficult time getting a hold of the base fabric. Many of them use Zweigart from Germany, and they can't get it. So it's still a supply chain issue. So if you want to use a particular linen or a particular fabric, don't start a chart thinking you're going to get it done in the next 3 months, because the fabric may not be there. The closest shop I have to me is about an hour away, and her cross stitch fabric selection is not that big. And so I do a lot based on what the model is stitched on or what other stitchers have recommended. And only when I get to a cross stitch shop do I have the luxury of looking at different fabrics and, doing a floss toss and looking at the flosses on them. In fact, it's so funny because my grandson, he's like, I want to go to Utah. I'm like, okay. And so I thought, okay, maybe we can go out west next summer. Maybe gas prices will come down. I don't know. Maybe COVID will magically go away. But I was looking online to see, okay, if we start and we go, if we don't necessarily go to Utah, but if we take the northern, I'm thinking we could make 3 trips west and do north, middle, and south. And I looked at the distance between Inspired Needle in Illinois and Country Sampler in Wisconsin. I'm like, cool. It's all on I-90. That would be a quick trip. At least that's what, Google Maps told me. So yeah, we'll see. But, my husband knows that when we do that, I want to visit shops and historical things. I haven't been to Mount Rushmore since I was 16, so that was 1978. And at that time, the Crazy Horse Monument was just a tiny little hole under his arm. Well, it looked like a tiny hole from where I was standing. But, yeah, I'd like to go out and see it again. I love it. I can only imagine the mountains and the trees and the lakes, and yes, those of us back east, at least me, are very jealous of those of you out west. So anyway, yes. So what else have I been up to? Well, last year I bought the Liberty box. Fat Quarter Shop does a special, they have a subscription box, a quilt subscription box, called the Sew Sampler box. And I think it's like $25, give or take, and you get a box every month. And then for the 4th of July and for Halloween and I think Christmas and maybe Valentine's Day, they do a special box. And the July 4th box is called the Liberty Box. And so last year I got it, and it comes with some notions and a little bit of fabric and a pattern and so on. And the pattern it came with was this. So this is an exclusive Fat Quarter Shop pattern. It's a little wall hanging. It came with all the fabric except the backing. And it's only 27 and a half inches wide, square, so you can get the back out of a yard of fabric. So I was digging through some things the other day and I found the fabric and the pattern and I thought, oh, what the heck? If I'm not a wall hanging person, because I guess something in my mind said, when you make a quilt, you got to make it big, right? So, go big or go home. So I started making this and I realized how satisfying wall hangings are because you can get them done and you can get them hung and you can feel like you've accomplished something. So I also thought if I really, really, really want to start decorating the top of that bookshelf that I mentioned, I think in the first video, seasonally, that a wall hanging on the wall behind it would be like primo. So I spent some time. We actually got rain, believe it or not. Not a whole lot, but we got rain. So it was a cloudy day and I thought, oh, what the heck, So I cut out the fabrics and I made the wall hanging. Now, I also, on my Bernina 790, there is a stitch regulator foot that you can attach to it. Now, regulator simply, you move the piece, but the regulator makes the stitches more uniform. Whereas if you don't use the stitch regulator, which is the way I learned, this is how I learned, you have to move the piece and keep the speed up and, the stitches aren't going to necessarily be uniform. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try this and see how fancy schmancy I can get and whatever. And I'm kind of happy with the way it turned out. So here we go. There's my wall hanging. And the quilting I did in the white, I don't know if you can see it, but I sort of did some curly Q things. And in the red stars, I did a meander with some stars, like there's a star right there. Now, I didn't do anything in the red or the blue, and I haven't decided if I'm going to. If I really, really want to, I will go back and do it, but who knows? It's not like it's going to get used all the time. So there's that. And then I had a piece, I had a 1 yard piece of Snoopy. Now, unfortunately, there is a little foldy up here from when I laid it out, but who cares? It's mine. So Snoopy, it's Hugs for Heroes and red, white, and blue. So, and then I was going to bind it with the machine and I forgot. I always put my binding on the front and then hand stitch it down on the back. Well, if you're going to do it by machine, you got to put it down on the back and then roll it over to the front so that your machine stitches don't show up on the front. Well, I forgot. So I took about an hour or so that evening and I hand stitched it down. So I'm pleased. So yeah, I actually got a quilt made this summer. I mean, I got other quilts done, but they're not done, and to me, until you put the binding on. All right, what else did I do? So as you know, I make project bags. I've made them vinyl. Okay. And when I throw things in my project bag, I just throw them in there. And it always concerns me if I have the floss in there and the scissors in there, and I don't know. I'd just like it to be a little more contained. So I started looking on YouTube for a how-to for a smaller bag. And I had the pattern for the Starlight Stitching Co. cross stitch clutch. And the first one I made, it turned out okay. And I thought, well, what if I just make a bag? So I started playing with pieces of vinyl that I had left over. In fact, I did it today. Corners are my, I don't know what the word is. What's the word? Not purgatory, but you know what I mean. My bane, the bane of my existence. But I'm rather pleased the way it turned out. I had some scrap pieces laying on the table or by the table, so I pulled them out. So it's Charlie Brown. This is one of those fabrics when my daughter worked at Joann's and she texted me a picture of it. And I said, well, bring me home half a yard. And then the next day I went back to Joann's and I bought the rest of the bulk. So, yeah. So there's the front. Sorry for the glare. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of this, because when you look at it, it's like you got to have black and white and yellow. You know, what other colors are you going to put in there? So anyway, I'm pleased. You know, it's got the herringbone inside. So I don't know what I'll do with it, but I did that today. I like it. But yeah, corners, these mitered corners with these vinyl bags are the bane of my existence. And I don't know why. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But maybe I should use a walking foot instead of a regular foot because of the vinyl. I don't know. I'll figure it out. So I also took the time this week to make project bags for moi. And I made them out of cloth and I made them lined. So the first one I did was actually fabric from another bag pattern that I got from Missouri Star Quilt Company a couple years ago. It's just a tote bag with the straps. And I thought, I am never going to make that thing. So I cannibalized the fabric and I made this. And again, I didn't quilt anything because I was in the I want to get it done mood. But I think the next one I make, I will take the time to quilt, because my fear is that if I don't cut the interfacing the same dimensions as the fabric, so that I don't have all that bulk in the seam. And I'm afraid if I wash this, the interfacing will give way. So, yeah. But anyway, so in this one, I put my Live on Little. And trying to be the good person, I shopped my stash for the fabric. Now, the fabric it calls for is 36 count hog bristle by Fox and Rabbit. And I found it online, and yes, I could have ordered it. The way the pictures look, it looks a little darker. But I thought, I have purchased pieces of cross-stitch fabric, and I need to use them. So the one I chose is a 32 count Vintage Country Mocha. And before I chose the fabric, I laid out all the flosses, and this was the best one that I could come up with. So I took the time to do that and zigzag around the edges. And then I also dug out my the floss tags that I had made with my disorderly stitcher, and for the DMCs, and on the back I have DMC, and I wrote the number, but then I also had those DMC stickers, so I put them there. So yeah, it's going to be an experiment, but yeah. So there's all of them, except there's 2 extra skeins down in the bag. because it says you need more than one of those colors. So most of it's DMC. There's 4 Weeks Dye Works and 1 Classic Color Works. So I'm anxious to start that one. But anyway, the lining is this. But yeah, I thought it was pretty. And I love Grandmother's Flower Garden quilt. That's what that pattern is on the bag, the quilt pattern. And yeah. So I just love it. So if you get a pattern or a kit and it comes with fabric and you decide, I really don't want to make that, take the fabric out and do something else with it. Fabric is fabric, right? All right, so that's that one. And then again, when my daughter worked at Joann's, she really got the quiltilism bug bad. She would get online and look at the online store, or she would look in the system and see what other stores had, because our store is pretty small. Excuse me. So anyway, she found this fabric, fell in love with it. I don't know how much of it she bought, but she gave me a yard of it. Actually, she may have given me a little more than a yard. But I saw it sitting on the shelf, and I thought, I want to make a bag out of that because it's fun. And again, I didn't quilt it. I wish I had, but c'est la vie, right? But this is so fun. There they are. Aren't they cute? And it's not necessarily that Abby Cadabby. That's Abby Cadabby. Let me see if I can find a better. Yeah, there she is. Abby Cadabby. She's in there twice. Oh, interesting. It's not that she's my favorite, but I found a piece of pink for the lining and the pink zipper before I found anything else. So, yeah, honestly, I probably would have, if I wanted to, I could have taken the time to find a piece of blue, because I think Cookie Monster is probably my favorite. But anyway, so yeah, so like I said, it's just a pink lining. But I really, really like this bag pattern because I don't know. I like the idea of it being fully enclosed and the vinyl, and you don't have to worry about laying it in the sun and the sun getting to your project and, the whole 9 yards. Now in this one, I put, and I think I showed you the pattern last week, but in this one, I put the barn owl. And it calls for Picture This Plus Valor. Sort of a bluish green. I think it's probably more green. I don't know if you can see it. And I think I told you at Hobby House, they have this, so you can either get it as 1 cut for 1 animal, or they have it in 3, because it sounds like she's going to have 3 animals on 1 color fabric. So again, I took time to put the DMCs on my floss drops, and then it also takes 2 skeins of carrot, and I love carrots, and grits. I think it's grits from Weeks Dye Works. So yeah, I'm excited to start that one too. So yeah, that's my Sesame Street bag. I have fabric over there that's that I ordered from Keepsake. One of them's a print with animal on it. One's got Kermit. One's got everybody. More of the Muppets instead of Sesame Street. So yeah. So between Charlie Brown, here's a scrap, Charlie Brown, Peanuts, and Sesame Street, and the Muppets, I am never going to grow up. All right. I've been talking for almost 40 minutes. It's amazing. Somebody just buzzed my phone. So yeah, I don't know what else to talk about. I thought about talking about notions. So those of you that quilt or want to quilt, if you want to know a notion that you should invest in, I would invest in Wonder Clips. If you don't have them, they're just like little clips, spring clips, and you can use these instead of pins, which means you don't poke holes in things like vinyl on a vinyl project bag. And they come in different sizes. I think this is the first size that came out, and you can get them in different colors. Like this pack has green and blue and red. Yeah. And then I found these honking huge things. So, you got to have all the things. So, if you feel the need, invest in some Wonder Clips. I am not affiliated with the company in any such way, but they're just a great thing to have around. I have used them on my cross stitch as well. I know that Kimberly Jolly, she stitches in hand. And so, for example, if this was her fabric, she would roll the one end to keep it out of her way. And then she would use a couple of Wonder Clips and the fabric wouldn't be flopping around all over the place. So they're not just a sewing tool. You can also use them in cross stitch. All right. So I think that's all that I have, because I often wonder how long is too long. I have found myself on some videos that are over an hour. I start to zone out. I will be honest, a lot of videos I watch while I'm sewing or I'm stitching. So I'm hearing, but not necessarily watching, unless, something catches my ear and then I reverse the video. But I always wonder how long is too long, as I ramble on and on about how long is too long. So yeah, I want to try and keep mine around 45 minutes. I hope I'm not talking too quickly. I think that comes from teaching and having to cover so much curriculum in such a short amount of time. So please let me know if I am talking too fast, so that I can make a attempt, do my very best to slow down. Slow down. All right, so let's have a giveaway. I received an order from Fat Quarter Shop the other day, and lo and behold, in the order, they put one of their Mad for Plaid project bags in there for free, which I was surprised about. So I thought, why not pass it along to you? Now, I did not open this because, I didn't want to get it dirty or anything like that. And, the cat chewed on the corner, so goofy cat. So it's the peony color. It's pink and white gingham. So if you are interested in winning this, first of all, you must be 18 so that I can ask for your address. You must be a subscriber. You must like the video. So you need to give a little thumbs up. And many YouTubers, as I mentioned last week, are asking you to be a public subscriber. So I have gobs of subscribers, but not all of them are public. So with that in mind, let's see. Oh, this past week was our local fair. So tell me, if you've ever been to a fair, tell me what your favorite part of a fair is. And you need to use the word fair, F-A-I-R, in your response. Okay? So, what is your favorite part, or what is your favorite thing to do at the fair? It could be food, it could be, a certain ride, whatever. So, what is your favorite thing to do or experience or whatever at the fair? And make sure you use the word fair, F-A-I-R, in your response. I will be taking responses up through Friday evening, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th of August. Can't believe it. The 5th of August. Okay. At 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And after that, I will be choosing the winner. Okay. So, what's your favorite part of going to a fair? Make sure the word fair, F-A-I-R, is in your response. Respond before Friday evening, August 5th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you are over 18, that you are a subscriber, and that you like the video with a thumbs up, and be a public subscriber. Okay? So, I will bid you adieu, and see you hopefully next week. Okay? All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.